What is up, noobs and noobettes? Charles or Atingleee here with the first episode of my new series called Getting Better at CoD. Basically, I'll be sharing my knowledge that I've acquired over the years of playing casually as well as competitive in Call of Duty. And hopefully you guys can learn a thing or two. Hopefully you can implement it into your gameplay, and I'm sure you guys will become better players with all these tips. This is just the first of many episodes that I'll be creating. If you have any ideas for future episodes, let me know. And there'll definitely be more coming soon. I'm expecting the next episode to be out maybe within 4 to 5 days. So stay tuned, subscribe if you're not, and enjoy the video. Okay, so first of all we have the thrust jump. You just have to jump and then hold the jump button, and that'll use your thruster. You can see the thrust meter at the bottom of your screen, and you need to make sure you pay attention to this so you can manage your thrust. You can use the left thumbstick to control the direction in which you thrust, and basically you can thrust in any direction. If you want to thrust for a further distance, you can basically tap the thruster, and this also gives you more control over your thrust movements because you can basically thrust in different directions each time you press the thrust. If you want to maximize the length at which you can thrust, you can do what I call a zigzag thrust. So basically you just thrust left to right, and this allows you to cover a lot more distance with your thrusting. This is really good to get to places quickly, traverse the map quickly, and basically do what you need to do. Next up we have the boost slide. So basically you need to sprint and then hold the crouch button. The benefit of this is that it actually allows your character to move quicker than you would if you were just simply sprinting, and you should definitely utilize this when trying to get to areas quicker on the map. You can actually combo these slides into another slide. So if you just jump at the end of your first slide and then hold the crouch button again while in midair, you can do a second slide. I'll show you guys that one more time. Make sure you're holding the crouch button while in midair, and he'll basically do the slide when he lands. An extra tip is that you can actually chain more than 2 of these slides together if you're using the afterburner perk. The reason for this is that your thruster regenerates while you're doing the jumping motion in between slides, and it allows you to chain more than 2 basically. I'll show you an example right now. And yeah, so the benefit of this is that you can basically traverse the map a lot quicker, and you should definitely add it to your arsenal. Okay, next up, and one of my favorite movements, is the wall run. So all you need to do is basically point your left joystick towards the wall in a diagonal direction, and then afterwards just direct your thumbstick forwards, and this will allow your character to continue running along the wall. It's really simple, and I think Treyarch implemented the movements really well into this new game. As you can see, to get off the wall you can just simply jump off. This is good, but in some situations you may get into a sticky situation if an enemy is like right in front of you. So another thing you can do is just tap the B or circle button depending on your console, and that'll allow you to just drop off the wall immediately. Make sure you're just tapping the crouch button and not actually holding it, because when you land, it'll land into a slide, and that could get you into an even stickier situation. Okay, so with wall runs you can actually chain many together. I say many because basically if you can find a new wall to wall run on, you can literally just continue to chain this movement together. I'll show you an example now. As long as you can point your thumbstick in the appropriate direction, you can just continue to wall run forever basically. Obviously I don't recommend doing the one I'm doing right now, but I'm just using it as an example to show you guys. And yeah, it can be really beneficial to change up your playstyle and also catch enemies off guard, which is really important. Something to take note of is that although you can wall run for a really long time, you do lose momentum eventually, and you'll notice it towards the end here. My character starts to drop down. Something I want to show you is that if you're aiming down sight while wall running, you actually go a little bit slower and you do lose your momentum sooner, so keep that in mind. Obviously I know you're not going to be wall running on long walls like this really often, so obviously it's not that important, but I just want to make sure you guys knew about that. And to avoid this loss of momentum when running on a wall, you can basically jump onto another wall, because as soon as you land onto the next wall, you basically regenerate all your momentum and you can continue running for the maximum distance. Okay, so obviously Treyarch created these movements with chaining them in mind. You can actually chain every type of movement together, and I'll show you an example of each. So we have thrusting into sliding, we have sliding into thrusting, we have wall running into thrusting. We also have obviously wall running into sliding. And next I'll show you guys sliding into a wall run. You just slide, jump, and then continue the war on like that. Make sure to keep all this in mind. You can come up with some pretty creative stuff and obviously transverse the map in your own way and definitely utilize all the mechanics to your advantage. I want to show you guys a quick combo that I just created now basically, and it's pretty simple but definitely a good way to get over to that side of the map. Say you got enemies all around here, I basically just thrust onto this wall, thrust onto this wall, thrust over, slide, and already over here. Say there was an enemy over here, you can catch them off guard, and obviously you can do the same from the other side. Another helpful tip, just jump here, hold the crouch button, and you'll slide as soon as you land. What I just mentioned is really important. Make sure that if you want to land into a slide, you don't have to hold the crouch button right before you're landing. You can actually hold it anytime you're in the air. Like, for example, I'm going to hold it as soon as I jump up and then let go. And as soon as I land, it will go straight into the slide. So it basically stores the button press, and as soon as you land, it will continue into a slide, which is really beneficial. Other things to note, stuff like sliding into a war run. I usually use this a lot when I'm trying to get away from enemies. Say they have the upper hand on me or they've made me weak. I basically chain the movements together and just get out of there as quickly as possible and find a new place on the map to catch them off guard. One more thing, this is probably the most common question I get, especially from people that watched my Sidewinder world record video. It's basically called I've called it a ledge boost. So if you slide off a ledge and then quickly tap your thrusters, you actually get projected forward a lot quicker and you basically get boosted forward. I'll show you an example right now. And yeah, this is really useful for making a quick getaway or basically getting around the map really quickly. I'll show you guys once more here so you can get a look. It might be hard to notice because I quickly land into a war run, so I'll try to show you guys on this thing here. So you just slide off the ledge and quickly tap your thrusters. So there you go, you just see yourself be flung across the map basically. Something else I did notice from playing a lot of free run is if you jump into that ledge slide, basically it projects you a little bit further and a little bit faster, and you guys should definitely implement it into both online multiplayer as well as free run to speed up your times. I'll show you an example right now. And there you go. As you can see, it's a little bit quicker and definitely beneficial. Just some quick tips. In Call of Duty, it's really important to try get the first shots on the enemy because you die really quickly. So obviously getting first shots will give you the advantage. Some little tips I have is if you know someone's around the corner, instead of just running around and trying to shoot at them, you can definitely slide across. And the thing about this is you can slide and catch them off guard. So like say an enemy's just waiting here, they're not going to expect you to just fly across their screen. So that may give you the advantage to hit a couple shots quickly, and you'll definitely have a higher chance of killing the enemy. Another thing is utilizing height with your movement. Whether or not I know there's an enemy around this corner, I usually like to wall run up here and then just jump out up here and just catch them off guard. The reason being is, say the opponent's here, they're going to be aiming like at their eye level, right? So if you just come out flying, they're not really going to expect you to be doing that. So definitely buys you some time to get some shots on people, and I definitely utilize it a lot over here when trying to kill this guy off the head glitch. A good idea is to obviously wall run onto that wall so you can keep your aim straight and keep the advantage on that guy. So remember, height is really good. Something else I forgot to mention is that while doing any of these new movements, you can still aim, shoot, as well as throw any of your equipment. I'll show you a quick example now. Throwing my stun grenade, still shooting, aiming. You can basically utilize all this, and you guys should definitely keep practicing these movements. Definitely try to utilize them into your gameplay, and I promise you guys, you will become much better players in Black Ops 3, and you definitely earn some more noobs. One last thing I didn't mention is that I actually have a scuff controller, so these movements are probably a lot easier for me to perform than for you guys with a standard controller. One quick tip I can give you is changing your button layout to bumper jumper. Basically what this does is it swaps L1 or LB, depending on your controller, with X or A. And this pretty much allows you to jump as well as thrust without taking your thumb off the right aiming stick. This is really important because being able to control your aim while thrusting and jumping around as well as wall running will really give you an advantage over enemies, as you can make sure you lock onto targets as quickly as possible. And I would definitely recommend trying to get used to that. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it for the video. As always, if you guys have any constructive criticism, be sure to let me know in the comment section below. If you have any video ideas both for the next episode for this series as well as just any general videos you guys would like me to create, be sure to let me know in the comment section and I'll definitely look into them. I think that's pretty much it for now. I'm going to leave a few clips at the end of this just showing you a bit of combos that I quickly done in this map, and I think that's all. So until next time, peace out, noobs.